Trap Politics TV, trappolitics.com. He is I and I am him.
I'm sorry. I thought the show was over.
It started?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trending culture, lifestyle commentary. He is I and I am him. It's your boy Rel. Now let the shenanigans begin, right? A lot of funny business has been happening. Shit. It's truly wicked on these mean streets. These YouTube streets, that is. It's been a lot on my mind lately. I want to get into some of that. But before we get into all of that, like an almanac, I want to make sure I handle all the formalities. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. Please make sure to leave a comment down below if you're entertained, somewhat enlightened. I am your boy Rel, for those who do not know who I am. Again, I am Rel, R32 L's. Yeah, man, help me out as I grow to 1,000 subscribers. What I like doing on this channel is I like exposing the fraudulent influencers. I'm not a Spencer Cornelia where he's exposing gurus, but I am one that likes to talk about false flags and things in media and things that need to be observed and spoken about. So I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, rocking out with me, building with me, growing with me as the channel continues to blossom and develop. Check out some of my shorts for some slight inspiration and motivation along the way. Now, without further ado, let's get into these topics, right? Let's get into some of these topics we got going on here. Pardon my New York accent, but we're just gonna get into some of these topics, right? Salute. So for the people who have clicked on the thumbnail, read the title, the tag of the show, it's about Fresh and Fit, right? And I've been following their whole catastrophic downfall ever since their whole fallout with some of their employees. Aside from the fact that the first time I heard about these guys, I already knew that they were full of shit. You know what I mean? Anybody who has a good sense could look at these guys and know that these guys aren't real about anything. You know what I mean? And I say that because it's just their delivery, their chemistry is off. Like, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, but I've always noticed it from the first moment I started watching their channel, is that a lot of the shit that they say, their character don't match any of that. You could talk high value this and alpha male that and red pill this, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, the truth and the devil is in the details. So when you really look at the nonverbal communication of what they say and how they act and react and how they go about doing certain things, from what I understand, how they portray themselves really doesn't reflect that. I don't know this person in personal life, but there's a certain frequency that you feel with certain people. There's a certain instinct you get, right? They call it your gut intuition about certain people that you just know. It's like, hold on, wait, something is off about this person. And I felt that instantly watching those two bozos. And I also feel that about some of the women too that show up on their show. They're definitely thirsty for some type of instant fame, clout, or notoriety, or maybe just money, because I believe a lot of the girls that they have on there are manipulated into being on a platform where they feel they could get enough exposure that maybe something could come out of it. You know, they do get a lot of their women from a lot of these dating apps where a lot of the most desperate women reside. Not all of them, but a majority of them do. So I've noticed a few things started to happen as I was watching their growth and development, right? And I'm gonna get to the point where I believe that a lot of things that they've been doing lately is staged, and how this is all gonna play out to one or two options. I believe everything that they do is staged. Nothing that they do is actually organic and natural. Besides the first instant when those guys kicked in the door, I believe that that was maybe as real as maybe as a guess, because they did file a police report. That was maybe the only first time that something like that happened, and it sparked in their mind that, hey, maybe we could use this to our advantage again at some point or time. You know, narcissists and sociopaths have a certain way of going about doing certain things that keep them in the limelight, right? So I've noticed that after that whole situation where they got their door kicked in by former employees, they started having high profile and powerful internet influencers show up, like Academics. Academics is a key player in this internet game, right? Because he still holds power and influence in this internet game. So once I noticed that DJ Academics had somewhat of control or have a vested interest in Fresh and Fit, I know things were will start to spiral in a certain way. And through some of the interviews and some of the things that ACT does, it really does expose and show a lot of things. It does expose a lot of things within their structure. So at some point, Academics had his first podcast at their studio. That's the first red flag to me. That was the first red flag. I was like, why the fuck? Academics just got a Spotify deal in his first interview. I'm just gonna give you the breadcrumbs of how I know everything that they're doing is now just a marketing ploy to develop one of these two options, right? The first was Academics' vested interests. Before Academics did his first podcast on their set, I think he came on their platform to do an interview just to, I guess, test the waters to see what type of engagement they got. You know, this is his initial introduction to who these guys are, right? So he came on there, did his interview or whatever, noticed that these guys have good chemistry, I guess, and built a good rapport, and also noticed that their engagement with their fans, because he did tell them that, yeah, you got to make sure you know your fans and instead of you do it, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. He ran through the whole scenario of whatever is regurgitated to every other podcaster that's trying to build a podcast. Oh, always make sure that you're, solidified with your fans. Cool, we get it. Now, Academics did his whole first podcast on their set with Whack 100 and 6ix9ine. Like I said, that was the first major red flag, right? Cool. Next red flag was what's the next red flag? The next red flag, well, aside from the door getting kicked in, there was that whole thing with the pregnancy scare and how this dude was out here picking up chicks and paying for pussy when he was lying about paying for pussy. And that leads me to the next red flag, right? Now, when the door got kicked in and that first red flag came in about how they were paying for pussy and all this other crazy shit and how they got, acid thrown on them for that whole thing, that whole fiasco. A lot of people really are, ripped them a new one because of that. And they didn't like that shit. Now, the reason why I mentioned the whole thing with Academics and that whole scenario was the fact that Ack is an opportunist and he sees where opportunity could be made. And in the media, any type of publicity is good publicity, whether it's good or bad, right? So Ack is a candid prime manipulator when it comes down to shit like that and media manipulation in the internet industry. So anyways, once the door got kicked in, guns were shown. The chick was talking about, oh, she's pregnant as well. It was like a double entendre, a clusterfuck of bullshit. Cool. That whole thing died down. They got their asses ate out by a bunch of other YouTubers. No copyright claim went out. Everybody did what they had to do. Maybe one or two copyright claim here and there for people who really extra violated, but nothing really too serious went about it. I guess they recovered after that. Cool. right? They lost a bunch of subs, but they continuously gained back a couple of subs because I guess people kind of missed them or whatever the case may be. Yada yada yada. Cool. All that blows over. Everything moves on. Now we move on. They've done a few interviews with few prolific people to try to get their name back up, try to build back up their credibility a little bit or whatever the case may be. None of it was really working out to their better benefit to gain back the amount of people that they really lost out on. Fast forward to not too long ago, aside from academics popping up and doing that whole 6ix9ine interview, because that kind of helped boost them as well after that whole fiasco. So that whole fiasco happened with the chick, the door getting kicked in. Academics did his thing. So this is all just trying to get their name and back into good graces, because I do believe academics do have some type of vested interest in these guys. Right? That's the reason why Act did his first thing there and brought 6ix9ine there and this, that, the third, or whatever. Cool. So those are two scenarios that happened, two red flags in my book. Right? The third red flag was when Fresh got exposed again for simping with that chick recently. All this high profile stuff that they did in between didn't really work out as well. So now they had to do some type of shock value. So what could we do to really get people back to talking about us again? We had the chick come up on there where I think Myron tried to roast the chick on some point of view or whatever, and they blasted that shit all over every fucking parts of the internet. Nobody really gave a fuck about it. Nobody really cared about it. Only they thought people would have cared about it. No, nobody really cared what Myron had to say, because anything that comes out of Myron's mouth, it's like, nobody really holds any credibility. People just show up for the toxic fuck shit. So that kind of went viral a little bit or whatever, but it still didn't really do what it expected it to do, until this whole thing with Fresh simping with this chick off of seeking arrangements or whatever. The chick was obviously grossed out by him, so it led people to believe that these guys really aren't shit. So they want to see the place burn down even more. People showed up to find out what the hell is going on with this, because all these other YouTubers are back to roasting them again, back to ripping them another new asshole for the same simping shit that they did back in the day, and to contradict the fact that they're out here talking about how they high value this, that, and the fifth. Hopefully you guys are following my train of thought, because I know I'm a little all over the place like bird shit, but just hear me out, right? Just follow the timeline of red flags. There's a few red flags. So now he's been called out for this. Ruins their credibility a little bit more. And now it's like, okay, how are we really gonna, get people still talking again, so we don't really lose credibility, but we still keep people's attention and engagement, right? In comes academics, and here's where I think the play starts to happen. Here's where the manipulation starts coming into play, because academics is very good at manipulation. He did it with 6ix9ine. I think he's trying to create this troll type of persona with Fresh and Fit. So academics comes on their platform, and this is just a suspicion to me. Academics comes on their platform, completely railroads this chick, right? Which I believe was paid to overreact, because it would get them the views to recuperate the whole bullshit that happened with Fresh, so at least they could still hold some type of validity that they stand up for what they believe in, and they don't let chicks push them around or whatever the case may be. In comes academics, an advert guest on their show, always there when he's not even supposed to be there, and it really, like I said, makes me think again, why is academics always there? He's definitely behind the scenes quarterbacking some shit, right? So academics, Fresh and Fit, this chick, orchestrated this play, because these are just my thoughts. I don't know. This is just hear me out. Orchestrated this play to create attention, so they could go after the small YouTubers who talk shit about them based on what has happened to them in the past. Because in the past, they've been chewed out by a lot of small podcasters who are micro influencers who have influenced a good number of people to not really fuck with them anymore, as well as the big name influencers like Abram Preach, Lead Attorney, Spencer, and a bunch of these other guys, who already railroaded these guys and whatnot. Like, it's a whole attack on the little guys. So they figured, you know what? In order for us to continue to maintain our sovereignty in this red pill space, let me orchestrate this whole scenario. So if anybody wants to say anything or tries to say anything, we'll get them all knocked down. And obviously, this is what he said. Oh, if you guys want to make video about us, we'll get your shit tapped. You know what I'm saying? We'll get your shit knocked out of here because, unless you get a written consent. That's how I know, again, that these guys are fucking bunch of goofies. I really wonder sometimes how the fuck does power fall into the hands of these type of motherfuckers? So the whole thing with academics railroading that chick who was paid to overreact was a gimmick employ for the small YouTubers and even some of the bigger YouTubers to try to attack the credibility again, just to repair the repercussions that happened with the whole thing with Fresh. Even though Fresh told the Poor Man's Podcast that was all part of their marketing ploy and gimmick, so they could be able to continue to gain notoriety. More reasons why I believe again that this is all one big play. Now, here's my two synopsis of how this whole play is going to play out, right? Hopefully you follow me up to this, that the fact that a lot of things that they do was staged and orchestrated by DJ Academics, Fresh and Fit, and any girl that they chose to create this whole scene where they could now eliminate their competition because they want to like really reign in on superiority. They are now in like a jam where they could either lose their channel or backtrack on what they said and now have gained more attention and will continue to remain having this attention by doing another 3-hour stream like what they did last time when they got jammed up the first time, right? Now, I suspect that they might do hey guys, we're going to do a 3-hour stream, talking about, or we're going to address the copyrights because apparently YouTube. So here's the thing. They could either redact everything they said or continue to play it out, let the stream crash. Let their channel crash. And I doubt they will lose any money, but it gives them a chance to rebrand. And that's what I think the key goal is. I think their key goal is to rebrand. I don't think their key goal is to actually is to keep their channel. But they do have an option to, one, keep their channel, or two, rebrand as two separate entities. Fresh would do his thing, and Myron would do his own thing. And I believe that I see it as a win-win for them. Because in the media, any press is good press, whether it's good or bad. A whole bunch of bad press. The lead attorney today had over 11,000 people in his room. He had Spencer, he had Abba, he had the Poor Man's Podcast, he had Playback, he had a whole bunch of high-profile streamers on his stream talking about these guys to 11,000 people, and probably still going on now. So it just goes to show you sometimes, though, that there's a lot of press behind bad media. There's a lot of press behind bad press. There's a lot of attention and clout that's built up behind bad press. And I believe that's why they did everything that they did up to this point. From their first initial door getting kicked in and guys pulling out guns and this, that, the third, they replicated that same scenario again to gain attention again, which I believe is for them to either dominate the space, to be able to branch out and become even bigger. If they thought that this was going to work, apparently it's kind of backfiring, because according to the lead attorney and a bunch of other people, nobody's content is getting taken down, and a lot of legal action is being played out in the public. So I don't believe shit I see on now. Now I'm gonna just give you my whole personal thing. I don't believe shit that I see on YouTube. You know, I believe everything in the media is fake. I don't believe anything is true. I think it's all made to invoke emotion. Adam 22 talked about this a lot about like he doesn't believe shit that he sees in the media, and I don't blame him, man. I don't believe shit I see in the media as well myself. Everything is fake. Everything is staged. Everything is propagated, made to create a certain level of interest and intrigue to continue to generate ad dollars. Spencer broke down how he made 50K in 1 month, but he gets only 50% of the ad revenue, so the other 50% goes to YouTube. So just imagine 100K just off of one YouTuber. Understand the high profile YouTubers that are out there, they get special priority attention when it comes down to what YouTube allows to happen. So they're not going to get their channel taken down or ripped off, and I doubt Fresh and Fit will either, because I'm pretty sure they bring in a lot of ad revenue as well to YouTube. They're pretty much either going to redact what they're going to say, get chewed out again, and not get any of these small YouTubers shit taken off. So it really kind of backfired in their face for doing all this shit, but still, it's still press that got you talking about the shit. I'm even talking about it right now. You know what I'm saying? That's really the whole goal. That is really the whole goal. Get everybody talking about us, because any type of press is good press. So that's my synopsis. That's why I believe the whole Fresh and Fit copyright strike thing was staged. I believe it was a smart move by DJ Academics and these guys to concoct this whole idea, concoct this whole plan. That's why DJ Academics don't go live on YouTube. He goes live on Twitch, one for the bag, and two because of the, whatever copyright shit that nobody could strike him. On top of the fact that he's an affiliate and whatever, so on and so forth. But the rebrand option does sound better, so it's a win-win for them anyways. You know what I mean? It's one, you get a bunch of good press, or two, you get to rebrand yourself and really niche down and make prime money separately. And those are the two predictions that I'm going to have moving forward, that those two things will exist in the same space. That they're going to get the good press, or if they do decide to rebrand, it's still a win-win for both of them. So, yeah. Fresh and Fit, man. Fucking cornballs. Goddamn weirdos. But, hey, whoever they have behind them, their marketing team, they're definitely pulling out all the stops. And it makes me think, you know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, I should be stepping my game up. I should be doing things like that, I should be doing more to get my name out there. Makes me feel like I need to put my merchandise on a hobo and make him do some reckless shit, get it all on camera, send it to a fucking to somebody to publicize it and get it, get the name out there a little bit. You know what I mean? My mind is racing. Thoughts are cooking up in my head. But it goes more into me thinking about what it really takes to be an entrepreneur in today's day and age, man, and the lengths and measures people have to go just to stay relevant and remain a thought leader in certain spaces, especially in media. Unfortunately, you have to step on little people. Unfortunately, you have to tear down big people. It's a dog-eat-dog world in the media game. Like I just mentioned, any press is good press, whether it's good or bad. And it sucks that even when people haven't made it, they're still being attacked like they have made it. And it's just, it's just bugged out to me. But that's my whole thing, man. I don't believe anything that those guys are doing are real. Everything that they do is fake. And a lot of things that happen in the media is also fake, So always question everything you see. Don't believe anything you see and believe of half of everything that you hear. Or don't believe anything you hear and don't believe anything you hear and believe half of what you see. The famous quote. I forgot who said that though, but it's definitely a famous quote, or vice versa, something along. Believe half of what you hear, or don't believe anything you see. Either or. It's goes to say that ain't shit real out here. You dig? Being honest and be an honest entrepreneur. Get it out the mud. Get it organically. build organically. It's gonna take some time, but shit, I'd rather be organic than to be built on rocky grounds. You know, at any given moment, the fucking floor could be ripped up from under you, especially if you're not practicing what you preach. Shout out to Alba and Preach. Yeah. Anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna get up on out of here. I just wanted to break that down on some lifestyle shit. Just my perspective on these guys. Hopefully you guys were able to follow me along the lines to understand that there's a lot of manipulation going on. You know, keep an open mind on everything, question everything that you hear, not just even on YouTube, but just in general in life. You know, everything is only perpetuated for a cause. If, you know, for every cause there's an effect, and you know, is people just do it so they could get the effect. Because nowadays, man, you gotta, you know, invoke feeling and emotion into getting people to do what you want them to do. And it seems like people are looking to get people to talk about them, so they'll do crazy shit like this, orchestrate attacks. I mean, shit, the government do it, right? I mean, look at Iran. Look at what Bush did, right? They got weapons. We have to go over there for these weapons of mass destruction. Just to do what? Do your research. You know what? So, if they could do it with such $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion budget, what makes you think that these guys can't do it with a few $1,000? Shit. It's your boy, Rel, TrapPoliticsTV.com. No. TrapPolitics.com, TrapPoliticsTV. Lifestyle, trending culture commentary. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, definitely leave it down below. I respond to all. Definitely check out the website for some of the latest and greatest in news and a whole bunch of other different things. And until next time, yesterday was crazy. Yesterday was a crazy day. I learned a lot of different things yesterday, but that's going to be another story for another time. I figured I should just do something algorithm worthy today. You know what I mean? You figure dig? You dug? We're done. Peace. Love and prosperity. Yeah, those guys are a bunch of fucking bozos, though, to be honest with you. Like, ain't shit real about them. You give a fool with money, he just becomes a bigger fool with money. Like they say, money only exemplify the type of coon you are. Fuck out of here. Guys are a bunch of goofies. All of them, even academics.